Hi everyone, Alex Williams here from Animation Apprentice, and welcome to the Animation Apprentice free tutorial on the use of Redboard, animation previs software. Redboard is a great new piece of kit developed by Hibbett Ralph Studios in animation, which I'm really excited about, and I thought I'd share it with you today. So what is Redboard? Redboard is a new technology that allows storyboard artists to use low-poly 3D models and assets to speed up their work. First of all, you import the 3D model and set. In this case, we're going to be using the windmill scene that comes free with Redboard. And you import them as low-resolution digital assets into Redboard. And then, and this is the crucial bit, you sketch over the top of the 3D assets to make the character poses and the expressions stronger, so it becomes a bit more like traditional storyboards. So what Redboard is a kind of hybrid technology joining up previs and storyboarding, and making the storyboard process faster, and also getting you into, crucially, this is the crucial bit, it gets you into 3D layout quicker and with fewer changes and pitfalls along the way. Who's using Redboard? So far, studios like Blue Zoo Animation, and they particularly like it because you don't get this big gap between story and 3D layout. So in a traditional pipeline, you do your storyboards, you send it off to 3D layout, and when it comes back you have to fix it because there wasn't enough information in the story panels for the 3D layout artists. But Redboard overcomes this problem by allowing you to export your models directly into Maya, which gives you automatically a 3D layout rough pass. In the trial version of Redboard, you won't be able to do the export bit, but you can do everything else, so you can practice your storyboard skills and learn the software and figure out how to use it. So first thing we're going to do is open up Redboard. So on my desktop here, I've got a little shortcut. I'm just going to double click on that and launch the software. And it defaults to this window here, and this is the file we want, windmill, because it's the windmill scene, and we go ahead and open that up. And it will now load up all of the individual assets, and we'll get the interface up, and I will show you how it works. Okay, so here's the Redboard layout, and I'm just going to move this up a little bit so you can see it all more clearly. And we start off by default in Browse mode. That's the mode we're in right now. Now, just to give you a quick introduction to the interface, you can see we've got episode, scene, shot, version, panel. So that's basically your hierarchy. We can go through any of these, take a look at various different panels. These are the panels within this particular shot, but let's go to panel 1, and then if we want to load that panel up, we simply click on this button here, load panel. It's quite easy to get the hang of this interface, and you can see at the top here, sorry, I've got to move this down because my recording screen doesn't quite capture the Redboard interface. You can see it's listed here, episode 4, scene 20, shot 80, version 1, panel 1, so that gives you your hierarchy of information. So now let's click on load panel. Sorry for the background noise, by the way. I'm doing this in a busy office, and there's lots of yakety-yak going on in the background. Right, so let's load that panel up. Now the first thing we want to do is figure out how to use the camera. So let's get started by clicking on camera. Right, now you'll see here a list of camera presets, and what this does is it gives you various locations. So these are the preset locations within the set. Here's a windmill. There's the road going up to the windmill. We can also go to the beach, which is cool. The cave, the street, the windmill itself, the yard, and the sort of top view, which gives you a kind of bird's eye view of the whole set. So you can see that you've got your automatic presets, which will take you very, very quickly around the set. So let's start with the yard just for now. Okay, so let's just take a look at some of the other camera options. Now you've got two options here, walk and fly. Fly allows you to travel around your set really, really fast, and walk allows you to go slowly. So really it could be called fast and slow. So let's use the walk option. And basically there are three ways of navigating your camera on your keyboard. And I'm going to use the up, down, left and right keys. And what that will do is up and down zooms in and out like this. So I'm zooming out, zooming in, and then left and right allows you to dolly left and right. So far, so simple. You can also use the square brackets to crane up and down. So I'm craning up using the right square bracket and craning down using the left square bracket. And you can also use your left mouse button to pan from one side to the other. So using these keys, you can pretty much get almost anywhere you want on the set. So it takes a little bit of work it takes a little bit of getting used to just to get yourself into the right position, but once you've done it, it's not too bad. I'm trying to get here, just trying to get this thing set up so that I can get close to the car, so I can then set my characters up. So obviously camera is the first thing you want to do. So let's say that we want to start by creating a storyboard panel. So what we do is we go back to panels here, and this will pull up a menu. And you can see we've got various options here. So let's call it episode 6. Scene, let's call this 01. Let's call it shot 01. Version 001 and panel 1. And if we now go to save panel, it should allow us, okay, it's saying we've already got one here. Do you wish to replace it? I'm going to click yes. That's just an error on my part, but this will now allow us to create a new panel. Okay, so here's our panel. Now we've got to go ahead and import some assets into it. Now you can see we've already got quite a few assets in the set. We've got the barn, we've got the trees, we've got the car. We don't have any characters here, so we want to go ahead and add some characters. So we want to click on the Models tab, and we can import some of the people who populate our episode, and that's Peter, Mabel, Car, and Fred. Now obviously we've already got the car, so we don't need that. So why don't we try and import Mabel? So let's click on that, and then click on Add Model. So this menu comes up. So let's click on Ethel. Sorry, we've already got Mabel there, and we'll add model to current set. And you'll see that Ethel now comes in. She's a very low poly model, but let's say we want her to stand next to the car. All I have to do is click on the screen, click on place, and I can also turn her so that I can put her in position in an attractive way. And once I'm happy, all I have to do is press enter. Just in theory. There we go. Now let's say I press enter and I've brought Ethel into the shot, but I'm not really happy with where I've placed her. All I have to do is click on the move tool here, and then I can move Ethel slightly to one side and move her around a bit, and then press enter again, and I'm done. I can also use these other buttons here. Elevate will move Ethel up and down. Roll will make her roll. Pitch, and so on. I won't show you these in detail because all they do is they allow you to move your model around in the environment. So let's go ahead and add another model. So we click on Add Model again, and now let's add Fred. So I'm going to click on Add Model to Current Set. Quite right. I've already got Fred in the set, so let's add someone else. How about Peter? We've already got. Let's see. How about let's add small boy. Okay, so we're going to add him. So let's say he's over here. So maybe he's going to ask how to drive the car, something like that. Let's turn him so he can talk to his mum, and then click enter, and there we go. Now, once you've got all the models in your set, you can also adjust the camera if you want. We can go back to camera, and you can adjust the lenses. Let's say we wanted a wide-angle lens, or perhaps we want, a 70mm lens, or we can go in for a smaller lens like that. And so you can adjust the camera depending on what you need for any individual shot. So let's go back to 35mm there. So now we're basically done with the setup stage. Let's go to the paint button and let's see, let's do some drawing. So now we want to actually get into the storyboard phase and really get the hang of what these controls do. But actually, before we go into the paint tools, let's see what we can get for free. So first of all, let's take the car. We're going to go to Models, select the car, and what we want to do is just select small boy, deselect small boy, and if we press the auto sketch button here, you will find that the car will automatically get drawn in. Now this is really helpful because it means that we get essentially a bunch of free stuff, and we can now go in and draw on top of that. So now let's go back to the paint tool and go there. Let's click on the erase button there, and let's go ahead and, whoops, wait a minute, we need to select the brush color. Let's go, no, that's not working. To undo something, by the way, all you have to do is press the U button. So if I select the screen and then press U, that will take us back. So U is undo. So in order to undo these lines so that they're not covering up the little boy here, all I want to do is press the erase button there, and then that should allow me to erase. You'll see the eraser comes up as a little red icon there, which looks vaguely like an eraser. And then I can just go around the edges here and get rid of any black lines. Whoops. Wait, let me just go undo there. Let's just do that properly. U, by the way, as I've said, is undo. And then I can just clean this up here. So now I've got the black lines on the car behind me, but it's not interfering with any drawing that I want to do on the little boy. And I can do the same thing for the mom here. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And now we've got the two characters standing cleanly in front of the car. So now let's go back to the Draw tool. So if I click here on Draw, I can select from various different brushes. And by the way, I'm using a Wacom tablet here. You could do this with a mouse, but you're not going to get great results. So definitely recommend that you use a tablet here. And now basically I can go in and start drawing. Now I don't have, actually I don't want to use, I'll just press undo there. Let's use black pen, so I can go in and start drawing the mom. Now let's say she's angry with her son because he's crashed the car or done something. Let's give her a grumpy look there. I don't have a model sheet to work with here, so I'm just making up these characters. Let's give her an earring. And let's just draw in here. Now you can see that while we're drawing on top of the 3D model, the 3D model kind of disappears behind the, whoops, let me just go undo there, I didn't like that. The 3D model itself just kind of disappears because the black tends to cover it up, or rather, the black lines. I can even give her a skirt here, and we're essentially the underlying model kind of disappears from our view, not because it's not there anymore, but because we don't really see it. So there we go. So now I've got the mum in the picture, and I can go ahead and clean up some of this a little bit if I want, or I can go ahead and draw the little kid. So let's say he's looking at his mum and he's kind of feeling a bit sheepish. He's kind of feeling a bit anxious. Let's make him a bit worried. Like, oh no, what have I done? I'm in trouble now. There we go. And what if he's kind of he's looking sort of nervous. You see, we're not bound by what the model is doing. You can't move these models around. You can't pose them. but you just simply draw on top of them, and because they're quite faint, you can, in effect, you just don't really see them once you started drawing on top. So let's do some stuff there. Now, the brush tools aren't super sophisticated. Apparently one of the things that Redboard is planning to do is to make them slightly more complicated and interesting in the future, but they are deliberately kept simple. We can draw a little bit more detailing on this car here, so that the system is easy to use, has enough functionality so that you can get the hang of it quickly, and I can confirm that this is the case. It is quite easy to get the hang of it. Let's just go back to the Erase tool and wait. No, that's not in Erase. Hold on a sec. Let's see if we can get that working. Okay, got the Erase tool back. Not quite sure why that wasn't working as cleanly as it should have done, but if I just go in a little bit around here, I can just erase a little bit around the kids. Actually, I don't want to do that. Just take that back. Let's take the brush size down. I just want to create last. For some reason it seems to be a tiny bit buggy here. How do I get back into that erase button? There we go. I just want to create a nice space around his head so that the black lines aren't interfering with the little kid, which is something you'd do on a normal storyboard, just so that everything stands out. So once you're done with your drawing and you're reasonably happy, you go back to Save Panel. So we just go to Save Panel there, and it will save the storyboard panel. And if we wanted to go to another panel, we would simply go Panel, then Panel number 2, and then Save Panel, and now it will create one. Well, we've already got one, but never mind that. And now we get a new panel, and I can go in and create a new camera angle using my camera tools. And generally, let's see, let's go back to camera. And I can, let's see, if I click on walk, I can go back in. Now, obviously, my drawing is no longer useful, so I'll need to go ahead and erase all of that. So I just go back to Paint there, go to the eraser, if I can find that again. There we go, and just erase everything that I've done. I can make that. Oh no, that doesn't work. Let's go back to the eraser. There we go, and erase everything there. Or if we want to clear the whole panel, simply click on Clear Canvas, that button down there, and that will erase the whole thing. And we can simply start again with a new panel. So once we're done with this, what we want to do is go back to Browse and then Export. And what Export will do is it will export all the data in your shot. And what this does is it takes you, it exports the surface geometry, that is to say the polygon mesh of all of your 3D models, and it will send it straight to Maya. So you automatically have your 3D layout pass done, and all you need to do is go there to export, and then you can export the surface geometry to Maya. So you can now open up your entire sequence in Maya. You've got your 3D layout pass, and now you can send that to the animators, or you can tweak your 3D layout pass, send that to the animators, and now you can start animating. Obviously not with these low poly assets, but with the full body rigs with facial controls and everything else that you need. So that is a basic introduction to how Redboard works. It's a great little piece of kit. There's more. You can see more at the website back at redboard.tv. There's a blog post about it at Animation Apprentice. Redboard, a better way to storyboard. So I'd go ahead and see if you can get hold of a trial copy. play around with it and see what it can do. I think it's going to be used more and more. Certainly, it's used extensively in London in the TV side of things, and I think we'll be seeing more and more work done with Redboard because it's easy to learn, very, very functional, and much faster and more efficient than the traditional method of drawing on paper. So thanks for listening. Once again, my name's Alex Williams. Check us out at animationapprentice.org.